Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Caught me taking a sip of my delicious black gourmet coffee. My name is Steve Nilsen. I live in Loveland, Colorado, and I have the pleasure and honor to be your host this evening on the Millionaire Mentorship Call. I get to share this platform with some amazing individuals that have been in part of Organo for many years, and you got to hear from one of them last week, Super E, right? Mr. Emmanuel Bernstein. Was the host of the call, did an absolutely incredible job. And then, of course, our CBO, Mr. Holton Buggs, who facilitated the calls in the whole month of June. I would highly encourage each and every one of you to go back through the archives and listen to those calls. Listen to how Mr. Holton Buggs laid out a plan of action for each and every one of us to achieve success in our Organo businesses. I've been a part of Organo now for 9.5 years. Our first mixer, when I say our, it's my wife and my daughter, Deanna and Casey. You guys, we did our first mixer in January, our first official mixer in January of 2009. 9.5 years ago, really set us on a path, set us on a course that has been nothing but amazing. The journey has been incredible. And I can tell you and honestly say that this call each and every Sunday night has been a vital part of our success in Organo. I can tell you I have not missed a single Millionaire Mentorship call in that time frame. If I happen to miss one live, which is very, very rare, then I get on the archives and listen to it the next morning while I'm sipping on my cup of coffee. I can tell you also that I listened to many of those calls multiple times throughout the course of the week. And in many instances, I'll go back and search a call that really spoke to me in my heart and maybe relive some of the techniques and strategies that are taught on this platform. Simple strategies, simple principles and techniques, and we can all apply those. Many of you this may be your very first Millionaire Mentorship call. I want to welcome you to the call. And you know what? I would encourage you right now to grab your phone, your cell phone, and do what I did. Do what I did 9.5 years ago, and I set an alarm for Sunday, every single Sunday, at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Obviously, I live in Colorado. We're on Mountain Standard Time. If you live Central Time or Pacific Time, just make the hour adjustment one way or the other. And you know what? Set your alarm for 6:30 p.m. I set one for 6:30 because if I get busy doing something, I want to make sure that I can wind that down and jump on this call at 7 o'clock. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I haven't missed a single Millionaire Mentorship call in that time frame. This call has helped hundreds and thousands of people across the globe to create a lifestyle that really is one that you can actually go out and create yourself. You can predict the future with the information that you are able to glean from these calls. So if I do my job correctly tonight and share some information, perhaps it will be a call that speaks to you. Perhaps maybe you might listen to it multiple times, or maybe it'll inspire you to go and listen to one of the other calls that maybe you either missed or didn't even know existed. So I'm going to get started here with the information that I want to share with you this evening. And, one of the things that I look at is 2018, right? We're in the year of 2018, and guess what? It's half over. Can you believe it? Can you believe that 2018 is already half gone? If we were playing football, we're at halftime right now. We're coming out for the third quarter. But I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Organo celebrated and reached an incredible milestone in 2018 in June. Bernie Chua started the company in 2008, and we celebrated our 10th anniversary. And I can tell you, we haven't even celebrated yet. We're going to celebrate in Expo here in September. Honestly, if you don't have your tickets yet, you better get one, because I am so excited about that event. I just can't believe that it's been 10 years. But some of the things that I thought about personally that I kind of pondered is when we celebrated that 10th anniversary, is I kind of rewound the clock in my own head. And I thought about the timing of starting a business in 2008. Quite honestly, many people say it was the absolute best time to start a business. Others thought, well, it's absolutely the worst time to start a business. And what do I mean by that? Because, here in Colorado and here all the way across the United States, you guys, people were struggling, right? Economic times we were experiencing were not good. Specifically, the housing market, real estate market was crashing. There was no homes being built. Therefore, construction costs and construction jobs were just non-existent. And for the first time in my life, in my married life with my lovely wife, Deanna, we were experiencing a down industry in both of the industries that we were involved with. You see, my wife was owner broker of our own real estate company, and I ran an electrical contracting company. And there was no houses being sold. There was no jobs to be had. And you know what? We kind of had all our eggs in those two baskets. And all of a sudden, both of those baskets were empty. And we had to make a decision, right? That kind of decision there in that time of year, that time in history, many businesses were closing. Bankruptcies and foreclosures were in every city, in every state. They were happening all over the U.S. And in my opinion, they were actually impacting global economies. And here we come, Mr. Chua. He wants to start a business, and he wants to start an international one, no less. And I asked myself this question just last week, and I'm like, why would he do that? I'm forever grateful that I was not on his advisory staff, because I probably would have said, you know what, Mr. Chua, let's just wait till things get better, right? Let's just wait just a little while and let it play out before we go and start a business. So I was kind of on that side of the page where, let's not do this. The conservative side, I guess, and Mr. Chua, thank God, wouldn't listen to people like me, because he went ahead and started the business. And, I had to ask myself again, why? Why would he start that business? And you know what? I hope I get to ask Mr. Chua this question, but I believe it was because his vision was way stronger than his fear. His belief was way stronger than his fear. Why? Because he knew. I think the answer to that question is in our mission statement: to bring the treasures of the earth to the people of the world. Mr. Chua knew he had a world treasure, right? He had the treasure of the earth, and he wanted to share it with the people of the world. So his vision actually was stronger than his fear. One of the concepts that I want to visit tonight is that powerful word of vision, right? What does vision mean? Definition of vision is the act or the power of sensing something with your eyes, right? Your vision, you can see it. Also, not only the sight, but you can also state that same phrase as the act or power of anticipating that which may come to be. And I really believe this is the definition that Mr. Chua was operating on, because now he could see something that I couldn't. He felt it in his gut, right? He knew that he had something, and he knew he had to get it to the world, and he knew he couldn't wait. So he needed someone to share it with. Obviously his lovely wife, Miss Adeline Chua, was his biggest supporter. I'm kind of going to run down a little rabbit trail here real quick, you guys, but as a man that has a spouse, it amazes me how I see even distributors in organo where husband and wife are not on the same page. I think we can take a tremendous lesson from Mr. Bernie Chua and Adeline Chua and just bond together as husbands and wives. If you're building your business as a husband and wife, you guys believe in each other and know that you're working towards the better good of you and your family for not only times now, but for generations to come, right? And Mr. Chua and his wife just knew that they couldn't do it all by themselves. And guess what? Mr. Bernie Chua shared it with Mr. Shane Moran. Mr. Shane Moran is the first person to my knowledge that Bernie Chua shared his vision with, and Mr. Shane Moran said, let's do this thing, right? And you know what? Right then and there, you guys, think about this. Mr. Shane Moran and Mr. Bernie Chua started to write history. They started to write history. They started to write a chapter in history that was going to take Organo, right, to be the most admired corporation in the entire world. The mission was to bring the treasures of the earth to the people of the world, but at the same time create the most admired corporation in the entire world. So what is history? I kind of wanted to kind of look at that, and I was thinking about the definition of history, and I was actually in church this morning, and the pastor said something that I wrote down because I thought it was fitting to add to my MMC call tonight. And this is what he said. He said, life can only be understood backwards. However, life can only be lived going forward. You see, we can look at the past. We can look at the past and understand how life played out because of what happened in the past, right? But we can only live in the future. And I think that's appropriate, that we need to use the past to predict the future, right? Webster's says a little bit differently, maybe more scientific, a chronological record. That's a big word. A chronological record of past events. So I took a brief look at the last 10 years of Organo, first of which 2008, guess what? Mr. Bernie Chua starts an international coffee company. We had black, latte, and mocha, you guys, 3 flavors of coffee, and he's going to change the world, right? What an incredible vision. What an incredible belief, because he just knew it wasn't about the coffee. It was about what was in the coffee. In September of 2008, a few months later, Mr. Holton Buggs joins our OG family, you guys. And by the end of 2008, Bernie Chua's little coffee company, right? Many people are calling it this little coffee company. I myself use that same verbiage, had done over $2 million in sales, from zero to $2 million in sales, right? Not a bad way to start a business, right? By the end of 2009, you guys, with the system implemented by Mr. Buggs, $9 million in sales for that year, right? 2010, Mr. Buggs becomes our CEO, and by year's end, $47 million in sales for that year. 2011, over $152 million in sales. 2012, $298 million in sales. 2013, over $330 million in sales. Now, I say over in sales because I haven't even added in what Mr. Shane Moran's business had done. You guys, we've heard Mr. Buggs say it many, many times, or at least I have. Mr. Shane Moran has sold more healthier coffee than any other person on planet Earth. And guess what? He is a huge part. He's the one that got this thing started. We add all of that revenue together, you guys. I think it's safe to say, just those numbers alone are over $1 billion in sales in 6 years' time. If you're a small business owner on the line tonight and you've ever started a small business like myself, put yourself in that position. Could you even handle $6 billion in revenue from 0 to $6 billion in 6 years' time? Or 1 billion, right? 6 years, 1 billion. We're on the way to that 6 billion for sure. But think about that. Was it a good thing that Mr. Chua didn't listen to my advice? Of course, right? What Mr. Chua has been able to do, you guys, is he's been able to do it in a very short period of time, put together a company based off of his vision. If we just cut that time frame in half, in 3 years' time, 36 months, 36 months time frame, I think it's very safe to say that Organo, this little coffee company, did over $100 million in sales within its first 36 months in operation. Guys, that is a staggering number. Regardless of what you think about business, especially when you know the history. Many of you that have been around for a little while realize that when Mr. Chua started Organo, we didn't even have an office. We operated out of an ice cream shop, right, in Vancouver, British Columbia. Actually, he rented the space. There was no such thing as customer service. We didn't have customer service. We had 3 products and a vision, and that's why I want you to focus on the vision. Can you imagine, just with your confidence, just with the belief that you have, just with the vision of starting to bring the treasures of the earth to the people of the world, over $100 million in sales within the first 3 years, within the first 36 months. Why do I say that? Why did that stick to my brain when I was thinking about kind of the evolution of organo, because every single one of us, you and myself included, have that same treasure. We have people that never have heard about organo. They've never heard about reishi. They've never heard about Ganoderma, right? How are we painting our vision? How are we painting our vision with our go-to guys, our go-to girls? I believe each and every one of us have a sphere of influence where we have that go-to guy or that go-to person that we can share our dreams, our visions, our goals with. And you know what? Share it in a way that they say, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of what you're doing over there in organo. And you know what? The best way for me to illustrate what I'm trying to say is really through a story. Mr. Holtenbugs, Mr. Shane Moran, you guys, they tell us all the time, become good at telling stories, right? Become a master storyteller, right? Why? Because, you know, when you tell a story, it creates emotion in a person. It creates the impact that is necessary to get your point across, so to speak, right? So we have to have, well, you have to think your work is important. We have to think that our work is important. Bernie Chua, he thought his work was important because, why? Because it was the treasure of the earth, and he wanted to bring it to the people of the world. Well, there's a story that's told in the job market, right, in the job industry, right, that I think is very appropriate to illustrating this story, you know, and it's about job attitudes, okay? It's a classic story. Many of you have probably heard it before, but I want to reiterate it here just to prove my point about how important it is to create that vision that each and every one of us has in conjunction and in parallel with the vision of Mr. Bernie Chua. And it's about bricklayers. It's about 3 bricklayers, right? And they're each asked the question. They're each asked it independently. And the first one is asked the question of, what are you doing? Simple question. And you know what? He looks at the person that asked the question and he says something very simple. He goes, I'm laying bricks. And that was his answer. Yeah, he answered the question that he was laying some bricks, right? They went to the second person, asked the exact same question. And the second person says, you know what? I'm earning a wage. My $10 an hour, I'm earning my wage. They go to the third person, and the third person looks at him in surprise and says, what? Who? Me? Well, I am building the most beautiful cathedral in the entire world. Now, think about the different answers to the exact same question. Notice the difference in attitudes, right? Now we get to play a little bit, right? I want you to, in your own mind, fast forward in those 3 gentlemen's lives, maybe 3 years, 5 years. I think it's pretty safe to say that guy number 1 is probably still just laying bricks. Person number 2, he's probably still just earning his wage, right? Person number 3, though, I think it's safe to say that perhaps he's not laying bricks anymore. Maybe he's the foreman, the job foreman for that company. Maybe he's an architect or an engineer, designer. Maybe he owns his own company now, right? Started his own company. Why? Because his vision was too great. It was too great to hold him at just laying bricks. What is our vision, ladies and gentlemen? Are we just, when somebody asks you, so what is it that you do? Well, you know, I sell a little bit of coffee. I have this little coffee business on the side. You know, are we just laying bricks? Are we just selling coffee? Are we just earning a little bit of wage? And by the way, you can earn a very handsome wage in organo. Selling coffee, there's people that literally are earning thousands of dollars a month just selling coffee. But what if you took the pride, like gentleman number 3, every single brick that he laid, he saw a beautiful cathedral. What if every single sample that you give, what if every single mixture that you facilitate or you attend with pride, right? The badge of honor, OG badge of honor, like Mr. Edwin Haynes says, you wear it with pride, right? Why am I so focused on this, you guys? Because remember that thinking makes it so. You know, there's actually studies, scientific studies that support what I'm saying, that your attitude and what you do is vitally important to your success. You know, that gentleman, that number 3, his thought processes were tuned, his channels were tuned into a direction that pointed him in a way to self-development, in a way to success, in a way to increase, right? To increase what he was doing, not just be a bricklayer, but a person who was building a cathedral, a person who laid each and every single brick with pride. You know, I can take it one step farther. I think when he went home, he wasn't as tired as guy number 1. He wasn't as tired as guy number 2. Because why? Because he had a bigger purpose. You know, I think if we do the same thing when someone asks us, so what is it that you do, right? What do you do? Well, I sell coffee. I have this little coffee business. But what if you say something like, you know what? I'm part of a team. I'm part of a team building the most admired corporation in the entire world. Why? What is it that you do? You know, that's going to catch somebody off guard. They're going to be like, what? What are you talking about? How are you part of building the most admired corporation in the entire world? How about something like, you know what? I empower people to take control of their lives, both financially and health-wise. I can tell you, people don't get answers like that, right? They get more of the wage attitude. Well, I do this for a living, right? What if you say, you know what? I bring the treasures of the earth to the people of Colorado, or to the people of Nebraska, or to the people of Texas, or how about Spain or Italy or Europe or South America, North America, New Mexico. You see, ladies and gentlemen, our attitudes play a vital part in our successes, right? So is every sample that you do done with pride? Is every mixer that you do, that you perform, that you facilitate, is it done with pride? Are you part of the world's most admired corporation, or do you just have a OG ID number? You know, that sounds kind of harsh, right? But you know what? If we have that little conscious interrupt, guess what? When we go to bed at night, we're not tired. We're not wondering if this little coffee business works. The evidence is absolutely overwhelming. We'll talk about that a little bit here in just a minute. But why do I believe this is so important? You guys, studies have been done by major universities, people that have studied the importance of job attitudes, right? Studies show that job attitudes of our subordinates, again, we're in the job market here, but job attitudes of our subordinates are in a direct reflection of the job attitudes of our own being, right? Job attitudes of our subordinates are a direct reflection of our own job attitudes. We could say that differently. Said another way, organo attitudes of our team members are a direct reflection of our own attitudes towards organo. So are our attitudes towards organo, as I'm part of a team that is bringing the treasures of the earth to the people of the world, or am I selling a little coffee? Do I have this little coffee business on the side, right? What we must become, in my opinion, is someone worthy of following. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, being involved with Organo now for 9.5 years, Mr. Bernie Chua is worthy of following. I've had a chance to spend some very special time with him and his family. Mr. Shane Moran, Mr. Holtenbach, you guys, these are people that are worthy of following. Some of the people that I share this platform with, and you guys, I know right off the bat, I'm going to miss a lot of them. But just, you know, kind of off the cuff, Mr. Edwin Haynes, you know, Dr. Robert Rakowski and his lovely wife, Kelly, Nikki Idet out in Hawaii, just planting the flag, you know, Mr. Rod Smith, Mr. Cesar Munoz. I can tell you guys, I saw a picture that he sent in our Diamond chat I believe it was yesterday, where he did a leadership training in Mexico with over 150 sapphires. You talk about you could see the energy in the picture. I couldn't hear what they said. You could see the energy in the picture. We're talking about, people like Miss Carmen, Carlos and Jessica, Manuel Bernstein, right? Dr. Harry Benjamin, Dwayne and Anna Kleinsasser, Jacob Camacho, I just love that man. He's just, I met him many years ago, Blue Diamond in the business, just an incredible gentleman. I see him out there in the hunt doing mixers and sharing the coffee, building just a beautiful family. Massimiliano and all the guys out in Italy, Ricardo, Tommaso, Marvin and Joseph, Sam and Kim Bean, Mr. Emmanuel Bernstein, I already mentioned him, Miss Marianne Node, Stephen Rhonda Martin, my two business partners, Deanna and Casey, and on and on and on. Guys, we could just keep talking about the incredible leadership that is out there, not only in the United States, not only in the state of Colorado, but all over the U.S., all over Canada, all over the world. And you know what? Each and every one of these leaders, you guys, takes on a tremendous responsibility. I believe that this call, having this platform, is a tremendous responsibility on myself and the people that serve. Because think about this. If I was to give incorrect information, if I was to give incorrect information on this call, it would not only hurt me, but it might hurt you, but it would hurt the company itself. So I can tell you, the people that facilitate these calls, you guys, they go to great lengths to make sure that they give you the information that's needed for you to implement the incredible system that's already in place so that you can have success. I know that these leaders, you guys, I've talked to many of them on many different occasions, and they want success for you, sometimes even more than you do. And that may be said more to the brand new distributor that's out there, but I really want you to understand that the leadership in this company wants you to be successful. Because why? Because they're building a team. They're part of the team. You're part of the team. We're all part of the Organo team. And so when we give information on this call, it is definitely for your benefit. And the evidence, you guys, is overwhelming. It's all over the world. The passion of these individuals to go out there and serve time and time again, absolutely incredible. One characteristic that all successful people, I believe, share is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm does what, right? It's not hype, it's not giddy, it's not rah-rah. General enthusiasm, guys, is important. Again, why? Because studies show this. This is documented studies that can corroborate everything that I'm saying. Is a person who thinks his job is important, or a distributor who thinks OG is important, right? We can just change the words to fit our company. The study doesn't change, right? But watch what happens. Their brain receives mental signals on how to do the job better. Now, I don't understand the science behind that, but I know that it's true. So a person who thinks his job is important, a organo distributor who knows his job is important, who understands the dynamics of Bernie Chua's vision, guess what? The brain starts to receive signals and create signals on how to do the job better. Well, guess what happens when the job gets better, right? I think you guys can guess, right? More promotions, right? More money. More prestige, more happiness. What happens when you get more happiness? You want to do a better job, right? Because it's going to create this cycle of good feelings, not only in your heart, but in your mind, and the ability to serve so many different people in so many different capacities just by sharing a simple cup of coffee. So we talked about history being an established record of past events, right? Well, history can also be an established record of significant events. So what is a significant event? You know, you guys, it's probably 9 years ago in a leadership training, Mr. Shane Moran shared a phrase with me that I've never forgotten. And I would highly encourage each and every one of you to write this down. The phrase is very simple. I don't know. All I know is. And then tell a significant event. What's a significant event? It's a testimonial, right? I don't know. All I know is I lost 30 pounds on our OG shakes. You guys, if you haven't seen the picture of the lady that has lost over 100 pounds out of Hawaii that Miss Nikki Idetta has shared, you guys, I got to tell you, absolutely incredible. Miss Jolene, congratulations, you're on this call tonight. Thumbs up to you. What a walking billboard. She is literally a walking billboard of her business, right? So when somebody asks you, well, what's the coffee going to do for me, right? And they might just ask you with that. They might ask you with that attitude, right? I don't know. All I know is one of my business associates, Miss Jolene in Hawaii, lost over 100 pounds, right? I don't know. All I know is I no longer have acid reflux. That's my personal testimony. I have not taken an antacid, you guys, in 9.5 years. And I love hot, spicy food, right? I eat it all the time. Didn't change my diet, changed my coffee. Guess what? I don't know. I no longer suffer from acid reflux. I don't know. All I know is I sleep better than I have in years. I don't know. All I know is my rest is more restful sleep. I don't know. I have a I don't have that skin condition that I used to suffer from. I don't know. All I know is, you know what? I was able to pay off some debt that was just drowning me, and I never could get ahead of it. I don't know. All I know is I was able to purchase a new car, a new vehicle. I was able to send my children to college without having to refinance my house. You guys, the stories are literally endless. They're significant events. Be able to tell the story. The only way that you can gather the stories is to plug into the system so that you can hear the stories. You can hear the stories of your team members. You can use your story. Your story is powerful, right? So why should we be interested in this history? Why does it even matter, right? It has been said, you guys, that we study history to understand the present to prepare for the future. What does that mean? To understand the present, we study history to understand the present to prepare for the future. It simply means that whatever we did wrong, we don't repeat it. Whatever we did right, we repeat that. Because think about this. We know organo works. The evidence is overwhelming. So we should just repeat what the successful people did, and guess what? We can expect the same results. What did the successful people in organo do? They plugged into the system. They didn't change the system. Very important that we don't change the system. You know, there's a very simple phrase. I think many of us have heard it. It's kind of cliche-ish, but, you know, that person over there is so successful because they could sell ice to an Eskimo. How many of you have heard that, right? I heard that when I was just a little boy, right? Well, guess what? You may be able to sell ice to an Eskimo, but your brand new distributor might not be able to. That brand new distributor needs a system that they can plug into, that they can actually implement, that is simple and that is easy, and they can create the same results as you if you're that person that can sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Now, you know what, you guys, it is so important. It's so important to stay on track with the system that is already in place. We don't have to change it. It already works. The evidence is overwhelming. Mr. Chua's vision hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Why? Because he went from when I got started in organo that we were open in the United States and Canada, and I believe the Philippines. Guess what now, you guys? 30 plus countries. He's going to the world. Whether we go with him or not does not change Mr. Chua's vision. His vision is too big to wait on someone. His vision is too large. His belief is too big. So having known this, you know, now the arm will perhaps this little bit of different look at organo, a little bit different look at your business. Insert yourself as the CEO of your own company, Mr. Bernie Chua. How do you feel about your business now, right? How can we not go share the treasure of the earth with the people of the world? Well, one of the first things that we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is set some goals, right? Now, I'm not here to set your goals. I'm not here to tell you to do this, do that. Matter of fact, this call is not even designed to do that. This call is designed to make some very good suggestions, lucrative suggestions that work, implementing the simple system that has been in place for the duration of organo. And you guys, again, the evidence is overwhelming. So what are your goals in OG? You should ask yourself, what are your goals? Again, I'm not here to set a goal, but I believe that there's one goal that we all share, okay? And that is to become an organo gold diamond, right? How many of you on the call want to be an OG diamond, right? You can raise your hand right now. You know, enthusiasm is contagious. See yourself as an organo diamond, right? You know what? I just cannot recall ever in my 9.5 years, even before I was a diamond, right? I just never could recall a single person who did not want to be an organo gold diamond. Why would you not want to experience the number one lifestyle in the world? Why would you not want to have time and money in the same sentence? Why would you not want to own your own time? Why would you not want to be able to call your own shots, right? Travel the world if you want to. Use some of your organo money to fund some of the goals and dreams you had in your life. Maybe a foundation that you wanted to open. Maybe become a real estate guru by buying some rental properties or whatever, but you never had the funds to do it. Now you do with organo. Why would you not want to live that lifestyle, right? I believe every person who fills out an application truly wants to be a diamond. I really believe that. But then guess what? They go on focusing of what it takes to become a diamond. And you know what? They think, oh my gosh, I can't become a diamond. It's too hard. It's too far away, right? They focus on going diamond and it paralyzes them from the activities necessary to go diamond. So I want to do something here tonight, and I want to challenge each and every one of you, right, to set that goal to become diamond. Don't not set it, right? But I want you to set it, write it down right now. If you're in a place you're taking notes, write down, I want to be an organo gold diamond. Write that down, and then guess what? Forget about it. What I mean is put it on, just put it away for a little bit. And right now, what I want you to do is create the action plan necessary to become a diamond. Go back and listen to these calls. It's spelled out on numerous occasions. I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions that I think are going to be vital and key to your success and your ability to become an organo diamond. You guys, we live in a time right now where there's actually more money circulating than any time in the history of the world. We can get a little bit of it, right? So let's start with something. I think the very first thing you need to start with is your own personal belief. Start with the belief that yes, you can become a diamond. Mr. Holton Buggs was interviewed in one of our gold magazines, you guys, and he said if he could do it over, the question was, Mr. Buggs, if you could do it over, what would you do differently? And you know what he said? Many of you already filled in the blank, right? Those of you that don't know, he said, I would believe bigger, faster. Simple. That doesn't take a financial output. That doesn't take anything other than something in your mind to say, you know what, I can believe bigger, faster. And so I would start with your belief. Then I would start with, if you haven't already done so, purchase your gold pack. Upgrade to the gold pack status. Why would you be one toe in the water, right? Jump all in. Get started with a gold pack. You guys, I can tell you from a traditional business owner, $1,300 is, like Jim Rohn said, chicken feed, right? It's not a large investment. I'm not discounting $1,300. Please understand it. But to start an international company from your home with no overhead, no need for employees, no need for all the traditional overhead that is associated with a traditional business, $1,300 really is chicken feed. Get your gold pack or upgrade to the gold pack. Position yourself for success, right? Don't get a toe in the water and hope for success, because that doesn't work, right? Then commit to doing something. Mr. Buggs told me this 1 month after I got started in the business. So in February of 2009, I got the opportunity to actually meet Mr. Holton Buggs. It was actually, I believe, the last day of February of 2009. And he said, you know what? You need to commit to moving at least a case of product through your organization. Why? That was my question. He said, it's not because organo needs the volume, it's because you need the product. Why? To service your customers. One of the very first things we teach our distributors, ladies and gentlemen, is to get 10 customers. Get 10 customers. Very simple. You should do that within your first week, no later than your first month. Get your 10 customers. So get your gold pack, commit to moving a case of product, get your 10 customers. Guess what? That case of product is going to fly off the shelf, because you're going to drink some of it, you're going to sample some of it, and you're going to sell it to your customer base. And guess what you start to do? You start to create and generate revenue, profitability. You become profitable in your first week. You become profitable in your first month. And guess what? Once you become profitable, you never will not be profitable in organo. Think about it. Once you earn $1,300 back, you're working with the house's money for the duration of your business. Here's another thing, plug into the system. Don't create your own. Plug into the system. It works. A mind that feeds only itself is soon undernourished. That's a quote that I read the other day. A mind that feeds only itself is soon undernourished. Don't think that you can do it all by yourself. Please don't. Mr. Bernie Chua didn't. He surrounded himself with some people. His go-to guy happened to be Mr. Shane Moran. And Mr. Shane Moran had many go-to guys. Mr. Holton Bugs had some go-to guys. Other distributors that had success in organo have their go-to guys, go-to girls. Commit to getting your dual within the first couple of days. Not your first month or your first 60 days, your first couple of days. You have the treasure of the earth. You have it in coffee. You have the ability to go out and share it with your go-to guys, your go-to girls, based on your enthusiasm, based on your vision, based on how you paint the picture of your brand new company. That should be not a difficult thing to do, right? Gather your 10 customers, again, committing to getting your dual team in the first couple of days. I promise you guys, when you create those few steps, you start to work in profit, then commit to doing your mixers. Commit to doing your weekly mixers. As you do your weekly mixers, guess what's going to happen? It's going to create other mixers, right? Here's another thing I think is very important. Dress for success. You have to dress right. Here's a slogan. Dress right, you can't afford not to. Those aren't my words. This is a slogan actually sponsored by the American Institute of Men's and Boys Wear. Why? Because studies show, again, this is scientifically documented, studies show that a first impression always lasts longer than any other impression. It also shows that if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you sound good. If you sound good, and on and on and on. You guys get the picture. You don't have to go overboard, right? But you know what? You guys look crisp, look clean, right? Be clean, right? You wanna smell good. You wanna look good. Have your hair combed. You guys, you don't have to be in a tuxedo every time you present, but you should look the part, right? The most admired corporation in the world is going to look this part. You might as well be part of that. And remember, a first impression always lasts longer than any other impression. That's why they came up with the slogan, dress for success, you can't afford not to, right? Commit to having 10 prospects at each of your mixers for your first 90 days. Why? Because step 2 says build a list of 100 people. You should be able to ask 10 people to come to your home or to your office and listen to your vision. Listen to the reason why you're so excited, you guys. Get 10. You might have to invite 20. You might have to invite 30, but get 10. It starts the momentum. Go back and listen to Mr. Bugs' call in June. You'll understand the dynamics behind that. Commit to never missing a Millionaire Mentorship call, ever. They're recorded. There should be no reason why any of us ever miss a Millionaire Mentorship call. Commit to learning how to show the plan. Remember, Mr. Chua's fear was squashed by his belief. He knew he had the treasure of the earth. You guys, a presentation can be scary. I'll be the first to admit it. But you know what? If your belief and your willingness to bring the treasure of the earth to the people of the world is not stronger than standing up in front of people you already know and sharing the plan, then just work on it. Work on it with your plugged-in upline, right? Commit to one-on-ones. Not everybody's going to show up at your mixer. So you know what? Talk about the plan one-on-one. If you're at your son or your daughter's ball game or dance recital or whatever, there's a lot of time. There's some social time involved in there. You guys, it shouldn't take you 10 or 15 minutes to tell somebody the vision. That might pique their interest enough to go see the plan or at least become one of your customers, right? Commit your free time to doing what? To becoming a better communicator. As you can see, you guys, I don't use big words. I'm not one of those people that's trying to impress with my vocabulary, but get to the point where you can have a conversation and you're not socially awkward when you do it. How do you do that? You feed your mind. Feed your mind with what it needs to go out and become better. Just be better today than you were yesterday. Start preparing that reading library and that listening library. Maybe you might have to fast, right? Mr. Holton Bugs challenges the leaders many times to fast, do a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day fast. He doesn't tell us not to eat. He tells us don't listen to TV or radio. Don't watch TV. Don't watch radio. Fill your mind with what is going to benefit you in the future, right? You can go back and listen to music and watch movies all you want when you're financially independent. Become a master of the system. I say master because it's 4 steps and 4 questions. That's it. If you want to master 2 of them, master sharing coffee and sharing information. That's it. Anybody can master 2. I promise you, wherever you work right now, you're a master of at least 2, right? Those bricklayers, they were a master of at least laying bricks, right? They had to mix the mortar. They had to do all the things necessary to lay a brick. Anything you do right now, you guys, you're a master of. If you work for a fast food industry or if you work for a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, you're a master of something, right? All we have to do in Organo is master a very simple system. It's the same system that works in the United States. It works in Mexico. It works in Europe. It works in South America. It works in North America. It'll work on the North Pole. It'll work in every single language. It'll work with every single religion. It will work with every single educational background, every single social, economical background. You guys, it's a simple, simple system. Master it. Become a master of that system. I tell people, don't look for the tricks of the trade, right? I learned this from Mr. Holton Bugs. Don't look for the tricks of the trade. Just master the trade. It's easier. It's easier just to master it than try to find the tricks. There is no tricks in Organo. It's simple. 4 steps, 4 questions, right? What are you going to find out as you start doing the activity necessary for success? You're going to find out that you have to get a dual to get paid in the dual team. You have to have an active dual to trigger commissions in the dual team, right? Anybody can go out there and share the plan and get 1 person on the left, 1 person on the right. I promise you, you can. Mr. Holton Bugs talks about doing the 20-20 plan. Don't focus on getting 20-20. Get 1 on your left, 1 on your right. Then go do it 19 more times. It's much easier to get 1 on your left, 1 on your right, and then just do it again. It starts to create momentum. It starts to build belief. It starts to help you believe that what you have in Organo, you can actually accomplish. You have to get your dual team, you guys, to be an effective leader. Because if you're going to show somebody that you're leading, then you need to at least do what you say, right? One of the principles of success is to follow somebody who does what they say, or surround yourself with people who do what they say they're going to do, right? If you're telling everybody to go get a dual, then you need to have a dual. You need to have your 10 customers so you can lead by example. What you'll find out, guess what? You get your dual team, you have your gold pack, guess what? You're a VIP. You have to go VIP before you go diamond. You do VIP, then just do it again, and now you're a platinum. See, it's simple. It's step by step. Like Mr. Jim Rohn said, it's a ladder. Just climb the ladder, right? Very simple. Take it in bite-sized steps. That's why the system is designed the way it is. Become a VIP, do it again, now you're a platinum. Platinum to elite platinum. Elite platinum to sapphire. Do this within your first 60 days, ladies and gentlemen. It's in perfect alignment with the 2020 plan, because a sapphire is going to have anywhere from 6 to 12 people that you personally sponsor in your business. That means in your first 30 days, put 3 on your left, 3 on your right. There's 6. Do it again in the next 60 days. 3 on your left, 3 on your right. Now you have 12. Guess what? There is a better than average chance you're going to be a sapphire, because it creates the momentum. It creates the belief. People see that you're doing it. They get excited. Enthusiasm is contagious. And guess what? You're a sapphire. Now, guess what? It doesn't say go ruby again. Go sapphire again. All you have to do in Organo to become a diamond is to learn how to go sapphire and teach somebody else how to do it. Your responsibility is to lead the way. Go sapphire in your first 60 days, then do it again in your next 60 days with different legs of business. Those first legs of business, they're still working. Do it again with a new leg of business. Guess what? In the next 60 days, go sapphire again. In the next 60 days, go sapphire again. And keep going sapphire every 60 days. I promise you. Do that. exactly the way we line out the system, which is exactly the 2020 plan. And there is a extremely good chance when you go back and you look at your goal of becoming a diamond. Remember, we just set it back there for a moment because we didn't want to focus on the goal. We wanted to focus on the activity to reach the goal. 18 months from now, if you're not a diamond or above, you're going to be extremely close to it. You're going to be making some very significant income. You're going to be profitable in your business. You're going to have the belief now where your belief is going to be way stronger than your fear. And guess what? It's contagious and other people are going to buy into that. And guess what? Now you're going to be a vital part in building a company that's going to be the most admired corporation in the entire world, which is Organo. You guys identify those in your organization who want to have great success in OG. Work with those people. You can't work with all 40 of them, the 2020, but guess what? It's designed where you're going to have 1 to 2 that are going to be your superstars on each side of your organization. Mr. Holton Buggs told me this many years ago. He said, all you need to do in an Organo to truly have big success is to create 4 legs of business. 4 solid legs of business. Now, obviously, you're going to need a little bit more than that, but 4 solid working legs of business, and you can achieve the financial dreams that you always thought were unreachable. You're going to need more than 4, but 4 solid legs, ladies and gentlemen. I can show you the math. I don't have time on this call to do it, but those of you that are kind of keeping pace with me, you understand that that's a very, very true statement, right? So who's in the hunt? How do you know who's in the hunt, right? Take a look at the top 300. No surprise. Dr. Bob and Kelly Rakowski, number 1. I think last year they were either number 1 or 2, right? They were top 2 last year. They're number 1 this year. Why? Activity. You see, they have to do the same thing. They do the exact same things. They don't get a special invite to number 1 because they're a blue diamond. They have to go put the effort in, the activity in to create the points to be number 1. You have number 2, Tammy and Jason Olson. You guys, I tell you what, I'm so proud of this couple. They happen to be in my organization through Johnny and Rebecca Woman. I can tell you, incredible people. Last year, 6 weeks before the Seize the Moment cruise closed, they made it. I think last year they were number 300. I think they were the very last person on the list, and they got to go on the incredible excursion to Playa del Carmen, 7 days, 6 nights, because why? They did the activity. They started 10 months after everybody else did, and they still made it. Well, guess what? This year they had a little bit extra time, so they just decided to be number 2. Pretty incredible, right? How about Lois Coffey? Lois Coffey. You know, Lois, she was on the cruise last year. She's number 3. I hope I pronounced this right. Alawadi James, number 4. Paul Chacon, number 5. Nam Do, does that ring a bell? Number 6, right? Rebecca and Johnny Woman, hello. They're number 7, right? I believe the number 8 person is from Asia. I don't read that particular language. You can go and you can see it. It's a ticker tape that goes right across your back office, ladies and gentlemen. Every single one of us can see it. Be inspired by these people. Eric Pisarovich, I think is the way you say that. Number 9, rounding out the top 10, Todd Stephen. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the people that are in the hunt. They're out there doing what? They're not out there going diamond. They're doing the activity to go diamond. Big difference, right? Focus on the activity, guys. The activity becomes more important than the goal. Because if you don't do the activity, the goal becomes a wish. You see, if you write down that you want to be an OG diamond, and 18 months goes by, and you look at your goal and you haven't achieved it, then it was a wish. If you did all the activities necessary to go diamond, guess what? It's no longer a wish, it's a reality. How does it start? It starts with your belief. It starts with your belief. It starts with the vision. What vision are you painting for not only yourself, but for your family? Who is in your corner? If it's a spouse, you guys, lock arms with your spouse right now and tell each other you believe in each other. Your go-to guys, your go-to girls, you guys lock arms with those individuals. We're creating the most admired corporation in the entire world. We want you to come with us. We are bringing the treasure of the earth to the people of the world, and we're doing it through a delivery system of a cup of coffee. What could be more simple than that, right? It's up here. we have to conquer the mind first. We have to believe in here. We have to take it from the mind to the heart and then to the hand. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when you do that, you can achieve incredible things. You are part of a company, a global company, an international company. Very simple principles, very simple concepts, very simple ideas, very simple system that works on an international global scale, regardless of language, regardless of ethnic background, regardless of educational background. All we have to do is do the system, right? How about some questions to ponder? First question is, are you registered for Expo? If you're not registered for Expo, guess what? That I want to be a diamond goal is more of a wish. It just got knocked down a notch. You cannot miss Expo. 10th anniversary. I'm so excited. I can't even imagine what's in store for us. You talk about energy. You talk about just some incredible, incredible value that's going to be given to each and every one of us. You guys, energy is infectious. Enthusiasm is infectious. You've got to be at Expo. That's going to be one of those activities necessary to achieve your goal in Organo. Do you have goals? Do you have goals for your OG business? Do you have goals for your personal business? Do you have goals for your customers? Are you a walking billboard like Jolene? Can you show evidence in your own body, in your own finances that Organo works? Important. Wear that badge of honor, right? Wear the OG badge of honor. Go do the activities necessary to create the results that you want. We're halfway through, guys. I want to extend an invitation to each and every person listening to this call right now. And I want you to feel my heart right here. I want you to feel the sincerity in my invitation to you. If you're in my own organization, this invitation is to you. But if you're in Organo, if you have an ID number anywhere on planet Earth and you're part of Organo, I want you to take pride in this company. I want you to understand that you have the treasure of the earth in the palm of your hand. Be proud of that. Partner with us. Partner with those who have taken it upon themselves to adopt the vision of Mr. Bernie Chua and bring the treasure of the earth to the people of the world. I want to extend that invitation, that heartfelt invitation to each and every one of you, because guess what? I'm part of that vision. I am OG, and I will do the activities necessary to go out there and help Mr. Chua achieve his goals and achieve his dreams. Why? Because it's that important. It's not only important to him, it's important to me. It's important to my family, to my grandkids. Because I have 2 grandkids now that didn't exist when I got started in Organo. Guess what? I want them to know that their grandpa is out there in the trenches, sharing the treasures of the earth with the people of the world, bringing financial independence to those who want it, bringing health and wellness to those who want it, bringing this incredible, incredible gift of Organo, the #1 superfood on the planet. Guys, that's my invitation to each and every one of you. It has truly been my honor and my pleasure to share this amazing product with each and every one of you. Remember, it's easy, it's simple, it's Organo. God bless, and have a great night. Goodbye.